Healy. All right, we're all healed up. I'm running a sacral chakra frequencies, and you've got Bach flower remedies going. Welcome, guys. This is Kiki Zita. Welcome to the Spiritual as Fuck podcast. I recently changed the name of it because I just feel like it's more fitting. All of us are on an ascension journey, whether we know it or not. And I like to talk to people who are on their healing journey, and nothing is really off topic for us. So today I have my friend Deana here. I met her. She actually did my Meditation 101 course, and then we just became friends through that. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Deana recently stepped into her spiritual awakening journey, and she actually originally had a shamanic healing session with me.
Yes.
And you want to talk a little bit about that? I guess that's kind of where
Yeah,
our
yeah,
journey
that's
starts.
a good starting point, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, so I've had a lot of trauma in my life, and childhood trauma, unresolved childhood trauma, and I've tried to heal it in a lot of different ways. So how I even heard about you was through a girlfriend, and she had explained to me her experience with you, and I was like, "Oh my God, I want that." She basically said that she had a Reiki session with you, and when she got out of the room, she just had like all of the weight off of her shoulders. And I was like, I need this girl in my life. So I got a hold of you, and I had a session with you, and it was life changing. Absolutely life changing. You were able to cut cords out, from a relationship that I had for such a long time that I've been trying to let go for the past 3 years, that I haven't been able to let go. And when I left here, it was just gone. And it was that healing was like the last point that I needed for that to let go of that relationship. So that's how I met you, and then we started to do, and then we had the what do you call
The
that?
Sacred Rage
Yeah, the
release.
sacred rage release, which was insane. Honestly, it was pretty scary, to be honest. But okay, so the reason why I say it was scary is because I grew up with a lot of yelling.
Yeah.
And I was always like, no, that's not good, like, don't do that, it's scary. But then when I was able to naturally release that in a good way and in a safe space,
Yeah.
I was able to let it go.
Yeah.
Right? And I felt so much better. And
Yeah.
now I do it alone,
Yeah.
by myself. And it's something I never thought I would be able to do in a safe space with myself.
The Sacred Rage, that exercise or session, if you want to call it that, is not something that I do with a lot of people. Because I don't think that you can teach intensity. Like I think some people just don't have it within them to have that, like, that crazy amount of roar, or maybe some people don't struggle with rage or whatever, but I see it in people where I'm like, you're intense and you've got the fire. And if you channel that properly, it can be like a life-changing release. So that was something that I learned when I did my psilocybin journey in Utah. And my facilitator asked if it's okay for her to demonstrate how she properly processes rage and anger and then actually transmutes it. And there's been a lot of people that I've talked to that feel rage and anger, and like even with you, you're like, yeah, I'll turn on like a heavy metal song and just like feel it. But then it's like, but then what? So then you like roll up to wherever you're at, and you turn the volume down and like walk out of your car.
Yeah.
You're like the same
Yeah.
person. So you feel it, and all the cells in your body feel it and re-experience it, but then you don't actually end up like transmuting that energy into life-giving energy instead of life-sucking energy. So you're just kind of perpetuating the problem essentially. So yeah, I like to really give women permission to go as nuts as they want to in those rage sessions. If you take it for the opportunity that it is to get it all out, it completely eradicates all those cords and all those attachments.
Yeah, when I had done it on myself the other day, like, I was having a hard day, a very hard day. I was actually having a hard week, and it was finally Friday, and I had done my last site visit, and I was just I just thought about it, doing it, and I started to cry. I was like, I need to do this for myself. So I went and I found a place. My car is like my safe space. So I ended up finding a spot where I know nobody could hear me or see me. And I put on some music that I knew that I would cry to and scream to, and I just like let it all come up, and I just screamed. And sometimes it's scary to scream like that. But I did that for about 5 minutes, and then I did just a little meditation where I put myself back into a safe space, and I was laughing out on my way back home after that. I was just jamming to some music, and I was in a great mood after that. It's just something that I'm so grateful that I got to experience, and so thank you for teaching me how to do that.
There's a formula to it. There's a formula to that. Like, you allow your cells, every single cell in your body, to feel that emotion to the max capacity that your soul wants to express itself through every single cell of your body. And your body the cells will literally shake with rage, and literally shake with anger.
Oh yeah, I was just shaking.
Yeah, you just vibrate.
Oh, yeah.
You absolutely shake. And then we use breath, sound, and movement. So moving, like your body will start shaking or even convulsing or thrashing. And then we use the throat chakra. We roar, we open. If there's gnashing of the teeth, if you're foaming at the mouth, go girl. It's all welcome, because that's all part of it. Yeah. And then breath too, like, and breathing with yourself. And then it all comes together when you're releasing it and feeling it for the sake of wisdom. Because my facilitator taught me that you're feeling these things not just to feel them like aimlessly, but you're feeling them for the sake of wisdom, so that every cell in the body can experience that which the soul needs to feel and needs to express. And then when you're finally finished, the absolute rage outburst, and that full expression of sound, breath, and movement, then we bring Christ consciousness compassion into the formula, and we surround that in love and light, and we bring that back within ourselves, and we transmute that. And then we bring it up into a prayer into our third eye chakra, and you can literally feel typically like ripples going out into the universe, or like womp 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 womp, and you're pushing out, and you've transformed that energy, and then you forgive and have gratitude towards the lesson, whatever that was, if it was a person, place, or thing, or situation or circumstance, that was a perpetrator to you, or inflicted trauma on you. So you send that out into a loving prayer of compassionate and forgiveness, and gratitude for the lesson that it taught you. And then it honestly takes a long time to actually come back into the nervous system. I think that's kind of like the coming down from that exorbitant amount of energy that you feel in the body. That's the part that almost takes the longest. But when you're coming back into yourself, you feel a connection to your core like you never have before. Like, you're coming back home to yourself.
Yeah.
In a way that is so real and authentic, because you're not bypassing anything. You've literally felt the raw, true, authentic, genuine emotion behind it, and you allow for yourself to come back home to yourself, and it's like, it's a beautiful journey. So that was cool.
It was.
So from that point on, I was like, this chick I like her.
I honestly didn't think I was able to do it, to be honest. I was so scared when we had done it for the first time.
Yeah.
I was like, what if nothing happens?
I wish that I would have recorded it. I know you would have allowed me to do it, but when you had your eyes closed and you were shaking and that, I was pulling energy out and
I think that's what helped me to
and I was
release.
moving like bioenergetics, and like moving her spine, and building up her chakras, and working with her breath. And
what's crazy is that after that happened and I came back into my body, she went to the back of my back, the back of my back, and she had a feather, and she was lightly touching it on the part of my spine that I've had issues with for the past 2 years. And I've been trying to heal. And I was like, why did you go there? She's like, I just felt like that I had to go. Yeah. What was the,
It's all spirit guided. So it's like spirit, like just my intuition will take
yeah.
me to places. Same thing when I'm working with the body. It's like, yeah, right here,
Yeah. And
right
I was
here.
just so shocked by that. And
Yeah,
yeah, pretty.
sweet. I know you have a story, and I'm always really curious. What was it that helped you in your life go from where you were and to where you are now?
Yeah, I think for me, it was being in such a dark place is like a very scary place to be. Like being depressed, filled with anxiety, um, turning to alcohol to numb the pain and to hide all of all of the crap on it. Can I swear?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a spiritual
Okay.
as fuck podcast.
Perfect. Okay. It's just like I turned to alcohol because that's the only thing I knew how to numb the pain.
Yeah,
Right?
something that so many people do.
Exactly. And so every weekend I drank and partied, drugs, alcohol, like everything, and did that for a good almost 5 years until I got really depressed. It was like I had to get off work. I was on antidepressants. Um, I didn't want to wake up anymore. It was not a great place to be, and so I had to do something. Something had to happen, and so I honestly found that TikTok really helped me in that sense, just because I got into a really good algorithm where people were on their spiritual healing journey, and I was like, I want this. How do I get this? And a lot of them had left their toxic relationships, so I was like, I had to really do a lot of thinking, and I had started doing therapy, and she started questioning me on it too, and I was like, I think I need to do this for myself. And so I finally, after 2 years, got the courage to leave and that's how I started. And from there, I was sober curious. I started,
Sober curious,
yeah, yeah,
like interested in being sober.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so what I started doing was I stopped drinking during the week. But even after I had left my ex, I moved to a different town with a couple of friends. And even then, they were drinking every weekend too. And so I had to pull myself away. I had to stop hanging out with them, to stop drinking, to be honest, because
Yeah.
our social environment is like everybody drinks. So, well, not everybody, but you know what I mean. Okay.
Yeah, the majority
Yeah.
of like social gatherings and everything, when you stop drinking, you recognize like just how many things are centralized around drinking.
Yeah, so it can be hard for somebody who wants to quit.
Yeah.
So I had to pull myself away. I had to start doing my own thing. And then eventually I was doing like 2 weeks, and then eventually I was doing 1 month, and then I would drink again. I was like feeling like shit. Like, why am I doing this? Because I felt so good after I stopped drinking.
Yeah.
So eventually I was just like, okay, I think I went on and off for about 4 months. And eventually I was like, hey, I'm going to try 12 months. But in the process of this, there was a lot of healing that I had to do. Like prior to you, obviously, I had to do
Lots
a
of shadow
lot
work.
of shadow work. I had to dig deep into why I wanted to quit, why I wanted to change my life. Exercise was a huge thing for me. I started working out again, practiced discipline. I was consistent, and I wasn't perfect, but I try, like, as long as I showed up, and did my hardest, and I was like, gave myself grace. You have to, and another thing that I worked on was just like my self-love and self-acceptance, the relationship with myself. That was a big, big one for me.
Yeah. Shadow work is not is not pretty.
No.
It's like literally looking at the most ugly parts of yourself that
Yes.
created the environment that you to date are experiencing and are living in. And it's all you. Like it's everything is you. And that's not an easy pill to swallow.
No.
It's
No.
very humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
Nature, I know, healed you
oh yeah.
a lot, and it did for me too. Because I had a similar like journey as well, and like I didn't just stop drinking and partying one day. It was like a back and forth still for a while until I was just like, I just feel like absolute shit when I do. So why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But same thing, like alienated myself. Or I was alienated in an abusive relationship already, but then I was kind of already used to being alienated, and then that was like the last person that I had to cut out of my life, and then I felt very like free and liberated in a sense. Then I could be whoever I wanted to be, and then tuning back into myself of who I really was outside of all of the people that I hung out with, aside from all of the drugs
Yes.
and the drinking and all of that, and spent a lot of time in nature, and it was almost as though I could feel like I talk about this inner resonance that you feel. It's like your inner tone. And when I was working on the island, there was a guy that was actually he was a musician, and he worked in this yurt where they did like all sorts of ceremonies and that. And he actually was talking about when people go on like a vision quest or something, or like he said it was like David in the Bible who went out with his harp and found his own tone. And at first I was like, what is this guy talking about? Like what? Like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. What, like what tone are you talking about? And then I recognized that it was like this, it's like a vibrational resonance within you, that when you get to know yourself and you feel what your yes is and what your no is, and you
Yes.
feel at peace with yourself within, with just you, and that self-acceptance piece comes in, and that self-love comes in, anyone or anything that starts to pull that inner string just out of alignment, or untune that guitar string for you, you start to feel it's like and you can
Yeah.
just feel that like this is
Yeah.
not in resonance with me.
Yeah.
It's a no.
Yeah.
And that was really like I don't know how anybody figures themselves out without spending time alone and in solitude.
A
I think
hundred
that's
percent.
100% key.
Yeah, because I definitely had to do that. Been I've been alone for like basically 3 years now, and I mean I choose to be alone too and not to hang out with a lot of people because of the healing journey that I'm on, and just developing that relationship with myself and loving myself first. Like
Yeah.
I can't be partying every weekend and hanging out with people every weekend and every single night after work or whatever, and then expect to have this relationship with myself. You know, like I come first.
Yeah.
I have to set boundaries for myself, and that was not easy either. Setting boundaries and like being able, like saying no to people, you know, like that's something that I didn't do when I was younger. I was always a people pleaser, you
That's a
know,
yes
everybody
girl.
else, exactly, everybody else came first before me, but no,
Yeah.
I'm learning that I come first, you know. And I high five myself every morning because of Mel Robbins. Have you heard of that one?
No.
Her
like
high
that.
five, her high five habit.
Okay.
Okay. I read her book, and that was one of the first books that I had read on my healing journey. And that's what helped me with my self-love. It was a really good book for me to read. And I do recommend it to a lot of people, just to, if you're starting your healing journey and you're struggling with loving who you are, then yeah, I recommend.
Yeah. I have a similar thing. My sister once, we were talking about that, and she said, I read an article about a lady, and her name was Shauna, and her doctor said, I want you to wake up every single morning, put your left hand on your heart, and say, I love you.
Yeah.
Say, Shauna, I love you. And she's like what? This seems so insignificant. Like it's just a dumb little exercise. And then, you know, she's like, yeah, Sean, I love you, whatever. And then that was that. And then like over, I think it took her 2 weeks. And then by the second week, she would like linger a little longer. She actually like started to cry,
Yep.
you know, like you feel a connection.
Yep.
And then George, as I shared Meditation 101 with our interview, he has that practice too, where you look in the mirror and you say, I love you, I love you.
Yes.
And these things sound so insignificant because people just want the magic pill and they want to like get there. And it's like they don't want to do these
The hard work.
cheesy little things. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but these, like, they're not, you know, it's like it's these little habits that over time they form a big change incrementally over time. And so now you help people put the bottle down and incorporate good habits and mindset into their life.
I help people who struggle with anxiety, depression, ADHD, and alcohol abuse, basically. People who are wanting to quit alcohol or reduce alcohol. I help them to develop healthier habits and routines, and basically help to build a solid foundation prior to building the rest of their life, right? We need to be good with ourselves. We need to have consistency, discipline, self-love. We need to do the healing. The healing was the biggest part and is the biggest part for most people, because why do people drink? Because they have trauma, unresolved trauma, right? You drink because you have anxiety. You drink because it numbs the pain, because it takes away the stress at the end of the day. So these are all things that.
What do you say to people that are like, no, I don't, I just drink for fun?
No,
you don't.
No, it's not, because I remember saying that to myself. Like, I used to drink for fun, but it wasn't exactly for, like, the fun in it was to hang out with other people to drink who also have problems in their life, who are running from their problems. So
It's amazing how it tricks your mind though, because you're at a party and you're up till 2 in the morning and you're having these crazy conversations with people and you think that you're connecting on a soul level,
yeah,
but it's all trauma bonds.
absolutely.
And I didn't realize that until and it took me a long time too. Like, it's not like when you hear people that are like, oh, I've been doing good, I haven't drank for 2 weeks and I'm gonna like party this weekend. And I'm like, 2 weeks doesn't do anything. Like, it took me a good 3 months to start noticing my emotional system regulating. It took up to 6 months to recognize sort of the stability in the relationship to shift.
Yeah.
And then a good like 9 months to a year of replacing that with habits. And it's like, holy shit, renovated 2 houses, got a puppy, you know, like I've been working on like all this other stuff while and saving money while I would have been
the money
drinking. Yeah. It's crazy.
I used to spend, I think I used to spend like close to $500 a month.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
But these days it's nothing. Like these days, alcohol, I'm glad that I got it out of my system. Alcohol was still relatively cheap.
True. I think after I did the Reiki session with you and the emotional release, I was like, hey, I want more of this. Like, I need to be able to do this on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had been practicing meditation for over the last year on my own, but it was very much just just sitting there trying not to think of anything while I have ADHD. And so it didn't really work well for me. Like, it slightly helped me to fall asleep at night, but there was just thoughts and thoughts and thoughts going through my head that just wouldn't stop. And so when you had offered me the program, I was like, yeah, you know what's there to lose? I'll try it out and see how it will help me, because I've struggled with negative thoughts, controlling my thoughts, concentration at work. That's a big one for me, especially with my ADHD and just ADHD in general.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my hopes in being able to control my mind and helping with sleep and all of those things. And so when I started, the first couple of videos, I was like, dang, this isn't the type of meditation that I'm used to.
You
This
should have
is
known
like,
from the same.
yeah. I was like, okay, this to me, this is not even meditation, but it's a totally different type of meditation. I feel like you would have to explain that part, but
So I think what I tried to create with this course is born out of, like, I'm a very like don't sugarcoat it type of person, and I totally get it. I get the darkest kind of, stuff that people come out of the darkest trauma. And I understand the ADHD brain because I have that as well. I have my own theory about what that means. And I heard something that was really good the other day. I've always said that I think it's just expanding consciousness. I don't think that ADHD is a disorder. I think it's an expanding consciousness where we are wanting to do more, take in more information than what our DNA can handle at that time, and the elites do a really good job of dumbing down our DNA so that we actually can't do the things, and that all changes and shifts when we are when we're recalibrating our DNA, and that's all part of the meditation that I teach. But I guess what it was years of doing the shamanic healing, and playing inside this energetic realm, being tuned into this non-physical realm that I would see so much information in, and it's such real information that comes up, and the way that I got this information was through the chakras, the energetic portals and gateways inside the body. That's how I got all my information in my shamanic healing sessions. And so I wanted to teach people how to access that information themselves, and how to heal their bodies, how to connect with their source divine aspect of themselves, how to tune into this metaphysical realm that holds so much information, holds all quantum possibilities, and we are here to be conscious creators. And so my method is that I believe that in order to access the non-physical realm that we cannot see with these physical eyes, it's not this reality that you see around you. In order to access that non-physical realm, you have to go through your non-physical portals. And then the other part, the other half of it that I like teaching is that in order to then bring stuff out of that non-physical realm, you have to then funnel that down and anchor it into your physical body, so that you're going from your non-physical reality into your physical body, allowing for the nervous system to recalibrate and feel the energy, the life force energy in the body. And then as soon as you do that, as soon as then you go out into the universe and you are moving through time and space, you're moving, and it's sort of like water. Whenever you move water, it creates ripples, right, around you. So that's literally what's happening in the reality all around you. So then once you funnel down those new codes, your nervous system recalibrates, the dormant DNA starts to come online, and then when you move through time and space, that's when you're able to actually see the manifestations come to fruition. And I know this sounds like Chinese to a lot of people. I'm fully aware of that.
It did to me at the beginning too, but once you take the time to actually listen and go through the process of your videos, and you lay them out really, really well, like your first couple of videos are very basic, which is good because people who don't understand this and are not very educated in this will be able to go through it. And for me, I wasn't very educated in it, and you talked about the chakras and you explained everything and what each one meant, and then you started doing guided meditations, and that's when it really helped me, because the way you do a guided meditation compared to the guided meditations on the apps out there was totally different. And I've been able to experience things that I've never experienced before, and it's like I'm able to connect with myself and like the universe and the quantum realm that I didn't even know existed before, to be honest. And it's like the energy that I feel every single time I just tap into it is, it's liberating. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm able to like control, it's unreal how I'm able to control my thoughts, my feelings, my body, and you just feel so much more control over your life. It's like, oh, okay, I notice that I'm doing this. I need to tap into myself and kind of revert that, right?
Yeah. It's literally centuries of programming that we're undoing right now, and the mind is a great thing. Like the mind is a great place. It has come up with a lot of great ideas, but it's now where we are in the consciousness shift of humanity. I feel like we need to transcend the analytical mind because we've reinvented the wheel and regurgitated and recreated. As you know, we need new solutions to come in to build the new earth paradigm.
Yeah.
And where are you going to get those from? Right? Like they have to come from a place higher than the monkey mind that is only as good as the social conditioning that it's been,
Yeah.
I just see that monkey with
Yeah,
like
yeah.
with the tambourine or the cymbals or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what that's what the mind feels like these days. And so it's to transcend that. Yeah, I think it's good to hear that it went through a very like organized way, because I was kind of worried about that with my ADHD mind. It's like here and then this and then this. So it's a miracle that I was able to create something that was in a way that kind of built off of itself.
No, it was really, really good. And you're really good at what you do because it's your life, right? It's your life. So that this is who you are, and it's not like something you just picked up and you're like, "Oh, I want to teach this." No, this is your life, right? And so you explain it very well, and you can tell the passion that you have for it. And that's what attracted me to it. So
you felt all these like cool sensations in your body, and then sort of tapped into the reality that you are not just this physical body.
yeah.
And that you're an interdimensional being that has access to a higher power, a higher life coach, a guru, all of that
Yeah.
can be accessed. But what did it actually do for your life then? Like, I'm curious.
Yeah, so for me, I've been able to manifest in a totally different way. And really, because to be able to manifest properly, you have to feel the feelings. What do you desire? You have to feel it, and then you have to take action, right? Meditating is the part where I go through and I feel it, and I bring it into myself. I picture, like you had explained in the program, is like you just picture like, what do you call it?
The quantum reality?
Like a funnel on your head, right? Just with the energy coming down into you. And what I do is I just picture it. I go from the top and I go into each one of my chakras, and I just tap into each one of my chakras. And if I find a block in one of them, then I'll work through it, right? Then I'll work through it, kind of release whatever needs to be released, and I'll just send more energy to that area. For me, so it helped me with manifesting, but it also helped me to start healing my body in a way that I didn't think was going to happen. In all honesty, like I just kind of like honestly, I started waking up and I was like, I don't feel sore the way I've been feeling for the last like 3 years. It was absolutely mind blowing when I realized what was happening, because I've been going to chiropractors. I've been doing acupuncture, massage therapy. I've gone to MRIs to check to see what was wrong. I had some bulging discs going on, some other disc degeneration issues, and nothing was helping. Nothing was helping. And I just started realizing that I was healing my own body through this. And just putting that energy and putting the love, putting intentional love to that area in your body starts that healing process.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And if anybody's familiar with the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza,
Yes.
this is all the work that he does, and he's literally has quadriplegics that get up all out of their wheelchair and start walking,
Well, he had done that with himself.
and had done that with himself.
Yeah.
My girlfriend went to one of his conferences and called her boyfriend and was just bawling on the phone because she's like, this kid can hear again. And she's like, and
Yes.
I'm here and he can hear. Yeah, it's just amazing. And like I think the underlying goal to all of this is not just so that you can do manipulate energy and do cool shit and realize, that you can manifest, but it's more so that you're coming back online as the powerful being that you are. And I've always been like a rebel, and the more that I know about the um the more that I know about the satanic elites on this planet, that their main goal is to dummy us down and make us forget who the fuck we are, I want to ignite people and have them come back online so that we all rise up, and that if every person, tuned in and did that, we would be a thriving world, and we would
Absolutely.
start to raise the vibration of the planet and the collective. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's raising, like, awakening the love in everybody too,
Yeah.
right? Because when there's love, then there's connection with everybody. And that's peace. That is
Yeah.
peace. And
Yeah.
and it's healing too,
Yeah.
right?
I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, and they said, like, what was it that shifted for you? And I said, well, in my background, I was born into a cult, a Christian cult, and everything was outside of myself, and it was all shame and guilt, and make one mistake and you're going to hell, and you were born bad, you were born into sin, and you need to, pray and repent and redemption, and you need a savior, and then you need to be baptized and all this stuff. And it just gave the sense that we came into this world a sinner. And then at the same time, they would teach that it's not through your deeds that you become good. So it was very, very like contradicting things. And when I started to listen to Abraham Hicks, she would talk about the characteristics of your inner being and how it is pure positive light, love, and energy, and it is inner wisdom, and it is perfect in perfect harmony. It never thinks a doubtful thought about you. It's never saying you can't do something. It's pure unconditional love that is an extension of source energy. And so when that really registered in my body, and when I was like, okay, well, if that is actually me, then I'm just returning back home to myself.
Absolutely.
Right. And it was like that guilt and that shame around having this external God and all of these other things was just like, it just silenced. It just didn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Because I was just coming home to unconditional love. And it also really healed that wound within me that was like, meditation is just an empty space where the devil can take its place. And it's like, oh my God, that's the last place that anything bad could come for you, is because you're connecting to your inner unconditional love. Meditation.
It was absolutely life-changing. Life-changing. I'm still working on it. I, to this day, have been meditating every day, and I practice because it's almost getting addicting. It's because you can change your whole mood in literally minutes. And when I wake up every morning, I've started doing walking meditations. So like I have a trail in the foothills, and I am able to walk through a bunch of trees, and being able to, like, walking through the trees and listening to some music that I listen to helps me to connect with myself, and I just start manifesting things. I start saying some affirmations and just pulling in positive energy to set myself up for the day. That's what I've been doing, and it literally changes the outcome of my day.
It's so simple too.
It really is.
When I thought about it, I was like, is it really that simple to just use the chakras? And it's like, well, if you think about all of your shamanic healing sessions and the amount of information that you've gotten pulled from people's energetic field, their life, their past life, their future, it's like, where did you get all this information from? The chakras.
Yeah.
So it's like it's so simple to just go into the body and feel the chakras, and as long as you alchemize the energy and as long as you balance the energy within, it doesn't have to be something specific. It's like we think that it's such a complex problem when it's like no, it's just the general energy of it, and you can even just go like positive versus negative energy, or like constrictive energy versus expansive energy.
Yeah.
I think that is probably the best word to use, because like when we're in constriction mode, we're literally feeling our body start to tense up. We're taking our brain and trying to use our analytical brain to overanalyze, overthink. It's all very constrictive. It's energy that's pulling in.
Yeah.
And when we go into this expansion mode, and all that has to happen, and we go into this expansion mode, and it just shifts everything, and then it's like all those like little peripheral fires, they just snuff out, they die out, because
Yeah.
you're taking care of the source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something and then I lost it.
Oh, you were talking about like being addicted to it almost, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what my passion is behind this, is teaching people that it's not just about sitting there to clear your mind, but once you poke through that ceiling, then you recognize that you can do so much in that quantum realm.
100%.
Like you can manifest, you can heal your body, you can take a situation that feels really ick and like something that would normally sit with you until you kind of sort of forget about it, but then it gets deeper repressed into your body. But like right then and there, if you have the energy alchemy tools, you can alchemize that energy right then and there.
Yeah.
And it changes relationships, interactions.
Actually, with me, that really worked with me at work, because my job, so I'm also an engineer. So it's very stressful job. It's very, very stressful. And when I go into work, it's just a stressful environment. So what I do is if I find myself getting too anxious and too stressed out, I'll go to the washroom or whatever, and I'll just tap into the energy, and I'll just put a positive energy field around me, and I'll be like, I'm not letting any negative energy around me bring me down and ruin my day, basically. And so I do that, and I swear to God, it
You walk out of that bathroom
changes
a different person.
not just me. It changes everybody around me. It
Yeah.
like changes the energy of everybody around me. And it's like all of a sudden, like my boss or my coworker is like in a different mood. And it's like, how is that possible?
You want to know?
I've done that a couple of times. So it works. Like it's kind of freaky, to be honest.
Bashar talks about like what is actually happening behind the scenes, and he says that when you change your frequency, you are actually entering into parallel realities. You're actually turning into parallel, and I almost see it as you going up a vibrational elevator where you are raising your vibration through like closing your eyes and actually physiological feeling the shift in energy happen. It's not just lip service. You're not just like, okay, love and light, 3 sheets of golden white, like done. But it doesn't take long once you know how to do it, but you do have to like close your eyes, enter that inner realm and shift. And I see it as a vibrational elevator where you're going up, and then those elevator doors open and you're on a different floor than you were. Same people, totally different version, because there's infinite versions of yous. There's infinite versions of earths. There's infinite versions of your boss.
Yeah.
And so you're just accessing a different parallel reality and a different parallel version of him or all the other coworkers.
Yeah.
And I did this. Okay. So I did this one time when I was in the mall, and it was like after COVID, and they had all those little like 14-year-olds with their little hand sanitizer, and like, it's just such bad vibes there, right? Horrible vibes. And I was like, I just want to blow the roof off this place and just sage the entire thing. So every time that I had to go to the mall, I was like, oh, the Matrix and people and stuff. And I just had this like such a distaste going to the mall, but I had to go there. And I walked in and everybody looked miserable. Everybody was like scowling and just miserable. And I was scowling myself, just dreading it. And the cheese lady kiosk was always there, and I was like trying to like ignore her, because I was like, no, I don't want any fucking cheese. Like, I have somewhere to go. Don't bother me. Don't try to lure me into your kiosk. And I was like, it was just a split second where I was like, Kiki, wow, like you need to check yourself right now.
Yeah.
And so I literally, I don't know if I actually stopped for a moment or if I kind of just slowly kept walking, but I did close my eyes for maybe like 3 to 5 seconds and just like felt, I was like, okay, let it go, enter with light. And I saw a light coming down through my crown chakra, going all the way through my body and then radiating out. And once I felt that light kind of radiated out, and I had now a light bubble of radiant white energy, white codes of light coming in, then I opened my eyes again, and I shit you not, every single person that I saw looked at me to make, not every single person, but those that I did make eye contact with, it was a heart to heart connection, and they were smiling. And then every store that I went into, they weren't annoying me. They were actually like helping me. And like I had like a super pleasant experience where I was like walked out of the every store. I found some good deals. I was like, ah. And then on my way back out, I went past the cheese lady and I beelined it for I saw that she had these scones or something, these like cheddar cheese, whatever. And I like beelined it for the freezer. And I was like, I want these scones. So I took them out of the freezer and she's like, do you want some cheese? And I was like, well, yes, I would. And the conversation, I don't know, I looked this lady dead in the eye and we were like right away, I can't explain it to this day, but I was like, I feel like, you know, when you meet those people that are like, you know, that they're on the same page as you with like with everything.
Yeah.
Like I knew at that moment that I could talk about like
What you believe in.
what I believe
Yeah.
in and that she would understand it. And like our hearts were connecting. And she's like, I'm
Wow.
sorry, do I know you from somewhere? You seem very familiar to me. And I was like, maybe in a past life. And she's like, maybe. And then I went, it was like goosebumps all over my body.
Yeah.
And then when I went to go check out, I bought some beef jerky and I bought some salsa. And then her husband was like, oh, you were just talking to my wife over there. And he's like, as he was like checking things out, he's like, have we met before? And I was like, no, your wife just asked me that. And I felt such a deep soul connection to her. Like you people are my people. And he's like, yeah, it was just like, he's like,
That's so
I hope you have
interesting.
a really good day. Like, I hope you have a really nice day. It was a real pleasure to just like be with you today. And I was like, you know what? You too. I floated out of the mall. Like literally it was
Wow.
like, "Ah." And I was like, my heart was overflowing. I was like grateful. I like went on to have the most amazing day. And I was like, how did that happen? It took all of like 5 seconds. I think I stopped. Like it was in that like that round part in the middle of the
Yeah.
mall, and I probably just stopped for a second and I just did this. Maybe look like a crazy person. Do I care? No. But that's how easy it is.
Yeah.
When you understand
It
that,
really is, it becomes easy. Like you don't
yeah,
think it's that easy. You think you have to do all these crazy things and it is really that easy. Just go give
turn on a
yourself
dime.
a couple seconds or a minute and you can change your environment by just switching your energy, your perspective too.
I do want to shed light on what Deana does, the service that you provide for people now and what you offer for people as far as the mind coaching and that goes. So you have a group, right?
Yeah, so I have a Facebook group. It's for people who want to reduce or quit alcohol. It's called the Zero Proof Reset Challenge. And you can find it on Facebook if you're interested. You can request to join. But people have been finding it super helpful. Even people who have been like even a month or two or even years alcohol free are wanting to join because they want to help people to be accountable. So,
I feel like it's a huge movement where a lot of people are realizing, even from the frequency perspective, there's a thing on social media that has gone viral about alcohol. When you break down the word, actually means, doesn't it mean like mind eating spirit or something?
yeah.
And so, yeah, just vibrationally, they're recognizing what alcohol does energetically. And that
It's
is enough to make somebody just not really want to do it anymore.
so that's the whole goal is just to get you started and to help you with the accountability until you're able to do it on your own.
I love that group because there's a
Yeah.
lot of people in there that are, like you say, are just to help people help cheerlead along on the side.
Exactly.
And that's like replacing the community that you had for all the friends and community that you had to leave. Yeah, I think that's really powerful. So where can people find you?
On Facebook, it's Deana David, Deana, David. And on Instagram, it's Deana.David93.
Well, thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you for having me.
Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, guys.